Hi, my name is Lauren Fellers. I'm a librarian with the Pikes Peak Library District, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about how to make simple circuits and then use them to make some fun light-up origami projects. So for today's project, all you're going to need is a watch battery, some conductive tape, an LED, some origami paper, a pair of scissors, and then optionally, but it's nice to have, a pen or pencil and a paper clip or a binder clip. And once you have those together, you're ready to get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is fold an origami lotus. So in order to do that, you're going to take your square of origami paper and you're going to start by folding up this bottom left corner to the top right corner, and then crease that with your fingers. And then you'll unfold it and you'll fold that top left corner to the bottom right corner and you'll crease that with your fingers. And when you unfold, you should have this nice X shape in the middle. So once you've got that nice X shape, what you're going to do is you're going to take each of the corners and fold them into that middle point. So here we'll take the bottom right corner and we'll fold it in and we'll crease it in place. And then the bottom left corner, fold it into that middle and crease it in place. And you're just going to go all the way around, just like that, folding every corner into that center mark until you have this square shape. And then once you've done that, you're just going to go ahead and do the same thing again. So again, you'll take the bottom corner and you'll fold it into that center of the square. You can turn it, take this bottom corner and fold it into the center of the square. And we're just going to continue like that all the way around, just lining everything up in the middle and then creasing with our fingers. All right, and once you've got all of those folded in and creased, you'll have a little square that looks something like this, and you're going to go ahead and flip that over. And then, you guessed it, you're going to fold these corners into the middle. So it may be getting a little tough to fold at this point, but that's okay. You're just going to go around and you're going to fold those corners and just press down with your finger until you get it into that center little point here. Beautiful. So you should have something really tight like this, so this tiny little square. And then now we're going to start folding the edges back out. So you're going to take this, you're going to fold it just so the very tip is poking out over the edge. You can see there, I'm just going to press it with my fingers. I'm going to fold all of these edges so that there's just a little bit hanging over the edge of my square. And these are going to be the petals of my lotus flower. So this is the bottom of my lotus. And I can go ahead and flip this over. And you can see how it pokes out from the edges here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start unfolding the petals. So all you have to do is fold each of these in half. So you're going to take this petal, fold it back in half, and just let it naturally rise up a little bit. Take the next petal, fold it back, and go all the way around like that. So now we've got our first layer of petals, and we're just going to do the same thing with our second layer. So you'll take these and you'll fold every little petal back in half and crease it with your fingers. And there you have it, nice and simple, our origami lotus flower. Alright, so the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to poke the prongs of our LED down through the center of our lotus here so that we get that light right at the middle. And if you can still see that X on the paper from where we first folded it, that is a great place to poke it down. So there we go. We've got it all the way down on this side. And now we can go ahead and flip our flower over. And remember I mentioned the shorter end is the negative end, the longer end is the positive end. So we can see that right now. The one on the right is negative, the one on the left is positive. So now I'm just going to draw again that little diagram that I showed before, right? And I'll move it down here so you can see it. So we're going to put the battery under one of these flaps, and we can choose any flap that we want to. I think I'm going to go ahead and make it this left-hand flap here. And I will just draw a circle on it with a plus inside so I know that's the positive side of the battery. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle underneath it where it overlaps, right? And that is going to be the negative side of the battery there. So we know, again, we've got, here it is, that longer end is going to have to connect to the positive. That shorter end is going to have to connect to the negative. So let's just go ahead and draw a little line. There we go. And we'll draw a line on the other side too. There we go. So now we have the paths that it's going to follow, right? So all we have to do at this point is use this conductive tape that we have to follow those lines that we made. And we're going to have them actually tape these prongs down to the paper so it's laying flat there. And then the tape will then curve all the way around and go into the little circles that you've drawn. So I'm going to get my pair of scissors because that'll make this a lot easier. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this down a bit. There we go. And then I'm just going to go ahead and flatten these little prongs to the paper so that it's easier for me to tape it in place. So what we can do is we can go ahead and we'll move this positive one over to this left-hand side where I've got the positive line drawn, right? And this negative one, I'm going to go ahead and move over to the negative side where I've got this other line drawn. So there we go. We'll squish them down a little bit to make it easier to tape them in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing. And I'm just going to tape that nice and firmly to this piece of paper here. And I can even turn that prong a bit. There we go. And we'll get a second strip of paper, tape, to get us to that, where the battery is going to go. There we are. So there's that strip of tape. And we're just going to turn it so that it goes into there. Beautiful. So now we've taped it down and we've connected it to that positive end of the LED. And we're going to do another little snip and do that same process for the negative end of the LED, right? There it is. There we go, and hopefully you can get that a lot smoother on yours than mine was. Mine looks a little bit messy right now. But the goal here is really just to have connected these two sides with the tape and to have the prong secured to the back of your origami. And then we can go ahead and take our battery, and remember you can see that plus mark on the top. That means that's the positive side, right? And we're just going to line that up. And, oh, I just saw a flash. If we've got it right, then we should see the LED turn on. There it goes. I'm just going to fold these prongs back. Sorry. And there is our lovely little LED flower. Now, obviously, when I take my finger off this, right, the battery is just going to come out and the light is going to turn off. Well, there's an easy way around that. As long as you want the light to stay on, you can use a paper clip or a binder clip just to hold that battery into place. So if you know you want to have it shining for a while, you can put it in here. There we go, that light turned on right. And you can just do the clip to hold it down. And then as long as you want it to be turned on, you can just have that here. And then when you don't want it, you can just remove it, take it out, and set it aside or use it in another project.
Thanks for showing us how to make that Lotus, Lauren. It turned out awesome. My name is Jennifer, and next I'm going to show you how to make this LED light up butterfly. It uses most of the same materials that Lauren used. You need a sheet of origami paper, the conductive tape, one battery, but this time you'll need 2 LEDs. So first things first, we need to fold our origami butterfly. And this starts off pretty similar to how Lauren did the Lotus. You're gonna fold the top corner down to the opposite bottom corner and crease. And you're going to unfold and do the same thing in the other direction. Crease. And just like with the Lotus, you get that X in the middle. We're gonna go ahead and rotate this so that it's facing this way. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold the top corner down and to that middle point of the X. And we're gonna do that on all 4 sides. I always like to make sure that they match up pretty nicely in the middle. Awesome. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to unfold all of these folds and turn the paper over. So with your paper lying with this side up, you're going to go ahead and fold the top straight edge down to the middle of that X again. Crease. And then you're going to turn it and do the same thing on the other side. Crease. And then you're going to rotate it 90 degrees and do the same thing with these short edges. So you're going to fold them down right into the middle point there. And you're going to rotate it 90 degrees and do the same thing on the other side. So the next part is where it starts to get interesting. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of open this fold to make a different shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on this piece right here, and I'm going to there's a little diagonal line right there, and I'm going to refold it right there. So now we have a little arm sticking out. And I'm going to do that also on this side. So I'm going to pull the side out, refold on that crease, and then fold it down. So now we've got these 2 little arms coming off, and we're gonna flip this around, and we're gonna do the same thing on this side. So I'm pulling out the arm, refolding that crease, and doing that on both sides. So the resulting shape that we have here is a hexagon with 6 sides. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna rotate this 90 degrees again, and what we're gonna do is just fold down these arms that we made so that they're kind of going in this opposite direction. So again, we're folding down that arm. I'm going to do it on this side as well. And again, we're going to fold this top straight line down to meet the bottom of the square right here. So I'm going to fold that down like this. And then we're going to fold the right side across and crease down the middle. So again, that fold is across like that. So I'm going to even up my crease there. And this is basically the body of the butterfly. We just now need to fold it so that the wings are apparent. And so the way we want to fold it is we want to fold kind of diagonally right here so that it's like wider at the top and the point of the body ends right there. So I'm going to just carefully do that, and you can kind of see it on this side as well. And I'm going to do it with the other wing also. So we're folding to a point right there and making it wider at the top. And then these kind of came a little bit across from each other. I'm going to just even them out and So now you have the body of your butterfly that you can pinch right here, and voila, you have a origami butterfly. So our next step is to build our circuit. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of open that triangle back up and lay the butterfly flat, because we're gonna build our circuit right in this fold. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is tape down your LEDs. Your LED has a positive and a negative side. The positive lead is the long lead. So I like to kind of separate the little legs of this a little bit, because we want to make sure that they don't overlap at all. So then we're going to tape each lead down separately. Kind of like to run my fingernail along the lead under the tape so that you can tell it's really connected to the tape. And once you have your left side LED on, we'll also go ahead and connect our right side. When we tape our right LED down, we want it to be the opposite direction. So we want the positive lead facing to the right. And again, the positive lead is the longer lead. So I'm going to go ahead and tape my second LED down in the same way. And again, when you fold your butterfly back up, when you pinch the body back together, you want to make sure that the negative is touching the negative and the positive is touching the positive. And I think I might have to spread mine out a little more to make sure that happens. So first we're going to wire the positive side of the circuit by attaching a piece of tape to the positive lead on the right LED, and we're going to fold it around the back and tape it right here so that we can put the battery there. Alright, so I'm connecting a piece of tape just to the right side of the circuit only, making sure not to touch the negative side, and bringing this piece of tape around to the back. So to set up our battery, what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of tape and make a loop with the sticky side of the tape on the outside. So just like this. And I'm going to stick it to that positive side of the circuit that we wired. And I'm going to attach my battery to it with the positive side, which is kind of the flat side that has a plus side on it. Positive side down. Make sure it's stuck on there pretty well. And then next we'll wire the negative side of the circuit by attaching a piece of the conductive tape to the negative side of the left LED. So that's the inside here. We're going to attach a piece of tape there. We're going to bring it around, fold it, and bring it over to the battery. Alright, so I'm connecting my piece of tape to the negative LED, making sure that it doesn't touch the positive side. And I'm going to fold it and bring it around to this side. And I'm just going to create a little crease in my tape by kind of folding it around. You don't have to get too technical here, just as long as it goes to the other side of the battery. So you'll see that we connected the tape from the negative lead on the left LED around the back and over to the battery. Now, I didn't quite get mine to work on the first try, but the way that you can troubleshoot that is by making sure that your LEDs are really distinct and that they're matching up perfectly when you are pressing them together. The other thing to look at is to make sure that your battery is really pressed down tight. And I think troubleshooting those two things will make your butterfly light up just perfectly. Voila! Thanks so much for watching. We hope that you enjoyed making these origami circuits projects with us today.
If you want to explore some more projects like this, or just to learn a little bit more about the topic, we have some resources and information from the library down in the description that can give you some more things to look into. We hope you had fun with this and that you're inspired to keep creating.